Hello everyone, the Flying Scotsman here, and welcome to this video. Now, at the start of April 2021, I was given a guest spot on the Nostalgia Mall's channel. And what I used that guest spot for was to have a look at the Internet Explorer 3 Jumpstart Kit, which I thought would just be the browser on a CD-ROM. And for the most part was, but it did have a couple of extra features that made themselves plain after I installed the browser. Well, for my channel, we're going to kick things up a wee notch because we have, well, we've got potentially a couple of Internet Explorer videos. We have Internet Explorer 4.0 with Service Pack 1, which is what I'm going to do here, but I also have the Internet Explorer 4.0 Commemorative Edition, which was handed out to people who signed up for it back in '97. So I think that would be an older version of IE4. I'll kind of discuss with that, the older and newer versions of IE4 as we get on here. But yeah, if anyone would like me to do the commemorative IE4 video, the commemorative Internet Explorer 4 CD, if anyone wants me to cover that, please let me know in the comments. But okay, so yeah, for this video we're going to be taking a look at the Internet Explorer 4.0 CD, which includes IE4 Service Pack 1. So here we have a virtual machine that I have made. It's a Packard Bell Platinum Pro, or something of its style. It's currently running Windows 95 OSR2, which actually came preloaded with IE3, and if we double click on the internet, we can find out that it's all set up. And if we actually go into the options, we find out that it is set up to access the internet through the oldnet.com's proxy for the year 1998. Very nice. So it's all, so for the most part, as much as the oldnet.com can do this, we've set this up with an era-appropriate internet for the time. So yeah, this is IE3. Obviously, some of the images aren't loading. Whoops, we're not doing too well here at all. No, we are not. But if I go to www.msn.com. It does not want to know. I don't know. Honestly, it was working fine before I started this video. Let's try BBC's website. Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? This obviously, because this is a Packard Bell image, there are some Packard Bell favorites. So let's try going to Packard Bell's website, see how that works. Because that was actually working. So yeah, this is Friday the July the 27th, 2007. This is not wanting to. This is not very happy with me at all at the moment. But the Packard Bell website, for the most part, is actually working. So there, apart from the main image, which was working when I did the original IE3 video. Yeah, this is kind of working. So this is IE3. I think anyone who used the internet back in 1996-97 will remember that this was the browser that you didn't use, because anyone with and sensible people for the most part will have been using Netscape Navigator. But IE4 would change that, whether it was because it was any better than IE3 or whether it's because Microsoft applied all the brute force in making sure that you knew you had IE4, and it was included in Windows 95 OSR 2.5C through Windows 98 First Edition. Well, yeah, that's exactly. I personally think that's why we all switched from Netscape to IE, because I think, and then of course Netscape Communicator 4.x, which was quite a nice, full-featured yet quite lightweight browser, became the flabby, bloated mess, at least in my opinion, that was Netscape 6. And, well, I just went from strength to strength until people became more intelligent, and Firefox came into being. So, anyway, that's enough about that. Let's actually get on with installing IE4 to this machine. So, as you can see, this is the Windows 95 standard desktop. Everything opens up in its own window. The windows are tiny wee boxes. So, here is the IE 4.1 SP1A. So yeah, we've got a nice kind of musical number: Microsoft Internet Explorer 4.0, install Internet Explorer 4.01, install Internet Explorer 4.01 add-on components, browse this CD, or exit. So this does not use the same musical interlude that the IE3 CDs used, which is quite odd, because that interlude would be there for IE5 and 5.5. So, yeah, don't know what to tell you with that. So, let's go ahead now and install it. So, welcome to the Internet Explorer 4.01 SP1 Active Setup Wizard. There we go. Accept the agreement. I totally accepted that. Now, while IE3 did come with a few things, it came with the Internet Mail and News client. Was I believe it was the first version of Internet Explorer to come with an email client, because I think oftentimes it was to be assumed that Windows messaging would be used for Internet Mail, and in fact you could actually get an Internet Mail plugin that could be installed only after Windows 95 had been installed to accept Internet Mail through the Windows messaging. There was actually born Microsoft Exchange app. So yeah, that was something. So yeah, I mean, IE3 came with Internet Mail and News and Microsoft Net Meeting, which was, well, some versions of IE3 came with Microsoft Net Meeting, which was a video chat service. IE4, though, that would up the ante on apps that you would get. So you could go for the standard installation, which includes IE 4.01 SP1's web browser, Outlook Express, and multimedia enhancements. But if you went for the full installation, that would include Internet Explorer 4.01 SP1 web browser, Microsoft Outlook Express, Net Meeting, Microsoft Front Page Express, which is a WYSIWYG HTML editor, Microsoft NetShow, Web Publishing Wizard, Microsoft Chat 2.1, and multimedia enhancements. So, yes, we're going to do that. Now, here was the other main feature of Active Desktop Update. Now, here was the other main feature of IE4. It came with what was known as the Active Desktop Update. And what IE4 has to say about that is IE 4.01 SP1 includes a Windows Desktop Update as an optional component. This update adds true web integration to your Windows experience, a web-enhanced Active Desktop, toolbar, start menu, and folders. Now, you can choose not to install this, that's fine. IE4 will install, and it'll install all the programs you've asked of it. And you can even have the channel bar run on top of the desktop. The channel bar we'll have a look into. Or you can install the active desktop and it will turn the Windows 95 desktop into something that is more akin to Windows 98. Now, with the active desktop, you get a bunch of so-called channels. And what the setup wizard has to say about this is active channel content provides links to various companies and publishers based on your location and language. The content you have chosen to have broadcast to you by accessing these channel links may not be appropriate for all jurisdictions. Please select the region that most closely matches your country and language. Unfortunately, that would be United Kingdom. Destination folder, well, I'm just going to install it in there. And I think around the time of IE3 and IE4, well, certainly IE4, definitely was the most obvious turning point whereby Internet Explorer wasn't just another application and actually seemed to become, or at least Microsoft wanted us all to believe, that it was essentially part of the Windows system itself. So from this point on, an Internet Explorer update was, well, it would essentially become a Windows update, and you could download Internet Explorer fixes through Windows Update. Now, I say that Microsoft wanted us all to believe that IE was part of the system and you could not unstrip it from Windows, and there was a whole antitrust suit actually about that, which essentially, I think all that really became of it was for a short time in the 2010s, computers set up within the European Union would ask you, once you'd installed Windows, what browser you would like to use. But IE would still be there, and later obviously Microsoft Edge. But with things like 98 Lite, you could actually strip Internet Explorer and all of its tools from Windows. You could keep by the minimum system files, because some applications, like for example Outlook 98, did need Internet Explorer to run. There was a lot of emphasis on webby components in Microsoft programs, as ToastyTech.com's Nathan Linebat might put it. The webby interfaces. So obviously the Internet Explorer engine was needed to drive all that. But, if you had Windows 98, which came with Active Desktop, you didn't have a say about that. If you installed 98 Lite, you could, in fact, uncouple IE and the Active Desktop. And if you had a copy of Windows 95 handy, then you could go back to the Microsoft Windows 95 shell and the Explorer version that came with that. Now, one thing that I always found interesting is that if you choose not to install the Active Desktop, you go to Start Internet Explorer, and this does work with IE6 as well, is that you'll get a wee splash screen from IE4 up the way through IE6. So that I thought was quite interesting, that you'd get that splash screen if you didn't have the Active Desktop, but you wouldn't if you did. Now, if you did choose to install the Active Desktop with IE4, I'm going to be honest, I have found that IE4 does make your system a wee bit unstable. It's not the most... I didn't think it was the most stable browser. I would use it in a heartbeat against IE3, but IE4, I just kind of thought that it was... I mean, obviously, having an Active Desktop requires a lot more RAM, so it's, your system, if it was quite a low spec system, you would probably find that it was quite clunky and became quite cumbersome to use. But faster systems, not a problem. Right, okay, Internet Explorer 4.01 Service Pack 1 active setup. Setup is finished installing components. If you are connected to the internet, please disconnect now. Setup must close all programs to finish the installation. Now, one thing that I have found interesting is that Internet Explorer 5, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was to do with the antitrust suit, now we've got to reboot, Internet Explorer 5 never came with the active desktop update itself as an option. So if I'd have went straight here from IE3 to IE5 and wanted the active desktop, I would have to install IE4 first. And some versions of IE5 would not come with Front Page Express either. They would still come with Microsoft Chat, in fact a later version, 2.5, and a later version of the Web Publishing Wizard as well, but again, not Front Page Express. So two of the things I really liked from IE4 were just missing from later versions. Okay. So apparently the driver information database is being updated. That's... Yeah, I'm aware this sound is a wee bit stuttery in 86 box. I honestly don't think it runs as well as PCM. So this is going to dot the I's and cross the T's. And then it will now go ahead and set up personalized settings for various different applications. So, there we go. We have Internet Explorer 4 installed. Now this comes up, and in fact it will replace the Welcome to Windows 95 dialog box if you still have that enabled to, you know, come up every time Windows does. This will disable that. But any version of IE4 will come up with this wee window. You know, asking if you want to take a tour or explore channels or register it online or what have you. It's quite funny because this often came up on our compact, and I think my mum wanted us to not uncheck that, so it would always come up, so we'd always have to cancel it off. But as you can see, as you can see, this what I said about IE4's active desktop is true. Straight away it crashed. But yeah, no, we have a My Computer window now that looks like Internet Explorer, and I prefer this to the classic Windows 95 shell because I like being able to go and type in the path of a, you know, where something is. So and then we can have a look in these files, and it's like, oh, actually no, I want to go back the way, so you can, and oh no, maybe I want this, so you can go forward, and yeah. And you can even add locations. You can even add file locations to your favorites, which is obviously all accessed through the My Computer window. And you can call up a web page favorite from a My Computer or Windows Explorer window. So, for example, you could go to Packard Bell, and then boom, just like that, My Computer will connect me to the internet, and I've not had to go out of My Computer and open an internet window. That's kind of nice. So, we've got Internet Explorer 4 installed. So now we have the start menu is obviously changed because now we have a log off option on the start menu, whereas before, if I wanted to log off, I used to have to go to shutdown and then close all programs and log on as a different user. Whereas now we have the log off option, which would be there in Windows 98 going forward. And IE for Service Pack 1 will actually give you a My Documents folder, and it will give you a shortcut to it in the Documents menu in the Start menu. Now, again, this is something. Again, I was going to talk to you about, some of the differences between IE4 and IE 4.01. That is one of them. The other difference is Outlook Express. I don't know if it's a whole new version or if the icon has changed, because in earlier versions of Outlook Express, the icon is that of an envelope in front of a globe. And if you go into Internet Explorer itself, while the browser is pretty much the same, whoops, that's that's not gone as well as we would hope. While the browser is much the same between 4.0 and 4.01, you will find that the icons, again, they've changed. So instead of the blue E on in front of a piece of paper that you get nowadays, that you got with later versions, you have the older IE3 style icons, apart from the Internet Explorer logo itself was the blue E. And the same thing with the control panel icon for IE. For Internet options, you have the old Internet Explorer 3 Internet options icon for IE 4.0, but for IE 4.01 you have the Internet Explorer E behind a toolkit, and that would then change in IE to become a globe behind, the spanner and hammer. So yeah, I mean, these are just things that I've noticed because I didn't have much. Well, evidently I did not have a life as a teenager. So, going into Internet Explorer then. Well, it looks more like the Internet Explorer browser that we kind of became used to. Obviously, there are differences. It doesn't have the patterned toolbar that IE3 did. The icons, at least if you're in 16-bit color mode, they are more full color. But you now have the sidebar. So if I click search, now in IE3 it would take me off to a search page. In IE4, now I don't know whether this will work. No, it doesn't seem to want to. But IE4, back in the day, and IE5 and 6, you would get a search box, where you could search for things, and then the search results would be displayed down the side. Quite nice. And then you could click through them, and it's like, no, this is not the page I want. I'm going to keep mousing through. You didn't have to keep going back. It was nice. This is an option I think this is an option I lament the demise of today. We seem to have went backwards since IE6 fell out of favour. That said, it's probably because that box didn't support the browsers we were using at the time. So you'd get, I think back in the day, if I remember rightly, you'd get certain options like Alta Vista, Yahoo, MSN Search, and what have you. But by the time IE6 came out, most of us were using Google because it worked. It was the best search engine, even back in like 2000, 2001. So yeah, we would just go to Google itself and be done with it. So I guess Microsoft thought, well, to hell with the search bar. You don't need it. You just search in the address bar and then bring it up. And I guess now you can have a tab and then you can right click and say, open this in a new tab. No, I want the bloody search bar back. You also have sidebars for other things, so favorites. You might remember in IE3, it was a drop-down menu. So, yep, no, you have that. You also have the new channels feature. We'll come back to that. You have the history feature. Again, that appears in a search bar. So, you can you can be mousing through, you can click your web pages. Oh, Packard Bell's website. Is that the one I wanted? No, I don't think that was the one I wanted. Maybe I wanted to go here instead, you know. Quite nice. Channels? Let's talk about channels, because they've been plastered all over the flaming desktop. Why do I want these? Well, let's see if we can access any. Last time I did try to access them, I couldn't. But the original idea behind the active desktop was it was kind of almost like the Windows 8 start screen. Like, you'd have nuggets of information that would that would be dynamically updated on the desktop, which seemed like a good idea. So it's like, in all the press about IE4 and the active desktop update and Windows 98, you'd see someone's desktop, populated to the ginnels with different web pages. It's like, I'm going to have my stocks in a wee window over here, I'm going to have the weather in a wee window over there, maybe train times. Basically kind of the precursor to widgets on the Windows 7 desktop, or the dashboard in Mac OS. It's something like that. So and then Microsoft's idea was, you would be able to subscribe to channels. Websites would have a subscribe to this channel, and then it would work like a channel, which, like I said, I think it would dynamically download information and then display the web page, so you could look at it even if you're offline. But all in all, I think it failed because it did expect you to be online for the most part, and back in 1997, 1998, most of us were still on dial-up, even across the pond. An always-on internet connection was, well, it was ridiculousness back then. So, no. That failed miserably. So, let's try going to a channel. Let's try msn.co.uk. Welcome to Active Channels. Active Channels are websites specifically designed for Internet Explorer 4.0. They use a full-screen window to let you see more information in the website itself. You can close the channel by clicking in the top right corner to disable full screen by using the toolbar. Would you like a quick overview of Active Channels? Do you know what these are? Web apps. I think that's what they were trying to be. So, I mean, that's the thing. It would enable itself in full screen, and then you'd have your channel bar, and it would slide graciously to the left, and I don't think any of these are going to work. I mean, I think in IE4 for Windows 3.1, you would get like an offline version of the Arcadia website, whatever the hell that was supposed to be. But yeah, I mean, welcome to the old logos for things. This was Sky's web page back in the day, and it's, again, it just can't get the pictures. So some of these pages I think are actually wanting to work, but just can't get the graphics. Oh, here we go, Financial Times. So you can get, Financial Times briefing. This was quite an exciting time, actually, because it's like all these institutions that you kind of knew about, because like either your parents maybe read the Financial Times newspaper, or you heard about it in school or what have you. And the BBC, well, of course the BBC, we all know about the BBC growing up in the UK, and Virgin and things like that. It all these places suddenly had a home on the World Wide Web. I mean, it's like, if a new shopping centre, if a new upscale shopping centre opens, and it's like, oh, this place has moved to fancy new digs, so's that place. It's, yeah. So, you've got things like add this channel to your desktop. So, a lot of this, I mean, now, even with the old net, they're trying to, get the web as it was, but obviously a lot of this is just not working. So, I mean, can't blame it. We don't need channels. Like I said, they were terrible to begin with. Internet Explorer, begin to download one of our seamless free Pointcast Business Network standalone applications. Ooh, very nice. The desktop newscast. Get Pointcast version 2.5. I wonder if I could still download the app. I don't expect it to actually work, but... Oh! No, it... Now, another thing about IE4 and above is you don't have to just keep clicking back like some chump. You now have a drop-down arrow that enables you to tell it where you want to go back to. There we go. So, yep. So that's the Microsoft channels. Bugontheoldnet.com. Sorry about that. So those are the channels. But we can still make use of the active desktop. So let's say we want to put a website on the desktop. Let's do that. So we can customize my desktop, and we can put a page, new active desktop item. If you want, you can visit the active desktop gallery on the Microsoft website to preview and install new active desktop icons. Let's see if any of that works. I don't think it will. And now it's just pulled up a version of the MSN homepage from 2000. That's not worked. But I remember when the MSN homepage did look like that. That brings back memories. The MSN butterfly. So that's not worked. But that's okay, because we could just kind of dump a website on the desktop. So let's do that. Okay, so new, nope. So I'm going to go location. Let's put the Packard Bell website up there. So Packard Bell. You've chosen to subscribe to the following site and add it to your active desktop. If the site needs a password, please choose customize subscription and enter it. So there we go. It is now going to download what it can. Update session concluded. And obviously, because this site wasn't designed to be plastered over the desktop, it's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle to try and navigate. But there you go. I've successfully plastered a website onto the desktop. Isn't that nice? Oh, there we go. We're getting there. It's finally going to let me... almost. And it's crashed. So, you know, even if you click a link on any of these desktop bound websites, it will still open up in the browser. So, yeah. Now I've decided I don't want that, so we'll just we'll get rid of that, shall we? It's just ridiculousness. And in fact, I usually disable the view active desktop as a web page. That was a memory hog back in the day. So I had the active desktop update and everything. It came with the quick launch bar. That's another thing I didn't talk about. You have a quick launch bar. That came with the active desktop update. So, you know, from whatever application you're in, let's say we are in, well, I don't know, Microsoft Works, because that's what's installed. And it's like, okay, I want to do some research, so I'm going to go click on the Internet Explorer icon, because it's down there. There you go. So, and it wasn't just IE. I mean, you could add pretty much anything you wanted to the quick launch bar. So, let's say if I wanted, I could add the Packard Bell library. So, there we go. that's there now. And I can launch that. Or I could even add Microsoft. I could even add Microsoft Works to the dock. So and that's another thing actually as well. Before, you could not modify the start menu on the start menu itself. You couldn't drag and drop things wherever you wanted. But now, for the first time with the active desktop, you can. Which is quite nice. So, we've talked about IE. Can talk about some of the other apps that came with Internet Explorer. Outlook Express, for the first time, that would combine your internet mail and internet news into one program, and it was very webby. Look at that, because of course it was. You get a couple sample emails, and you can use an existing internet account, Netscape Mail, or you can set up your own one using POP or IMAP. Keeps going on about Netscape. Is Netscape installed on here? Anyway, yeah, no. So we've got Outlook Express, and you know that can read emails in plain text and HTML format, and you can get all the viruses in all the world using that. So that's what that does. Basically, hasn't changed, apart from the fact that it's been dead since IE7 came out. You get an updated address book application. That's pretty nice. So you can store people's names and addresses in the address book, which you need Outlook Express to run that. Connection Wizard, basically the same one that was lifted out of Internet Explorer 3. So proxy server, yep. And yep, you have Microsoft Front Page Express. Now, like I said before, this is a WYSIWYG web editor. So you might have seen the edit button on the IE toolbar. So in theory, you're supposed to be able to click on that and then bring it down, and it'll open in Front Page Express. It doesn't want to though. I quite like that, because I always loved the idea of having my own internet website, you know, and it's like, oh, I can go on and edit the internet. No, you bloody can't. Not in that way. That's you no. But I like that button was there, even though again it was completely useless. But unless you're looking at your own website, but we could just make a page now. So that's the Flying Scotsman's website. So let's just make a quick wee page now. I'm gonna use Arial, the Flying Scotsman's website. There we go. And then welcome to the Flying Scotsman's website. Let's see, can I find Scottish Blend? Did Scottish Blend have a website in 1998? Let's see. What do you mean this link doesn't exist? Let's see if I can search in the IE address bar, because I think that was a thing. Nope, doesn't want to. Let's try Dogpile. We've done this before on Billy's channel, and we had as much luck with that. And Frogfind doesn't want to. No, not. I mean, that will strip out the modern internet and relay it to a browser such as this. Whereas what I'm wanting to do is get on the old internet through a browser such as this. Oi! Trying to bloody search. Actually, you know what? I think I know what will... I think the old web will actually have... Oh. So, I think you can actually go and search for things, I believe. And you do get a version of the old web which, you know, works within its own proxy, obviously. So... Let's see if we can get an old Google, because this was 1998. So this, so we're actually going to visit Google as it was. Google updates monthly. We could subscribe. Back when it was Stanford University, when they weren't the very prolific company they are today, wanting to track us all on Google Maps. So. Oh, what am I trying to search for? Scottish blend. It's not working. Never mind. Let's go. Here are some links. Compact. So I can link compact.co.uk. Trying to send a bloody link here. Oi! There we go. And page properties. Could even have a background sound. So background, I could have a background image, or let's change the colors. Very nice. Can even change the colors of your links. So that's what I would do. Visited hyperlink. Active hyperlink. There we go. That looks like something I would have created back in when I had the original 2001 custom build. So there we go. And let's now go to my documents. That's quite interesting. It's showing a website there in the Documents menu. And there we go. My website. That doesn't work. And that doesn't work. It's because it thinks it's searching in my documents. So I can go to Edit. And I can go to Hyperlink Properties. Hyperlink Type. And I want to make it a TTP. And same with this. So I don't know. HTTP. And then we'll refresh it. And there we go. So that's Front Page Express. So when you're done making your website and you're impressed with it, and you know you've spoken to your internet service provider, they've given you like a couple of megabytes of free web space, well, maybe you can use that other great Microsoft program that came with Internet Explorer called the Web Publishing Wizard to publish your website. Now, I've never successfully gotten that to work, never been able to have the opportunity to do that, but yeah, that's a thing. Publish your files on the web, and yeah, that would do that for you. You also have Microsoft Chat. So that's an IRC chat client, and it has a comic. It has a comic style interface, so everyone appears like in a comic strip, and I kind of like this. I could use it to make comics, like so. Pretty sure I asked for pecan sandies. So yeah, you could you could chat all on your own and make a comic and what have you. I did quite like that. And then you've got, obviously, Microsoft Net Meeting. NetShow Player, I think it's meant to be some kind of a streaming player. That said, I do believe you did get a Windows Media Player update as well with Internet Explorer 4. Got Microsoft Net Meeting, which is a video calling application. Again, not really that popular. People didn't have webcams for the most part. People didn't have enough bandwidth to be able to do video calling, without it being an absolute pain in the backside. So, there you have it. There's IE4 and the Active Desktop Update and the Internet Tools and all that good stuff. So, like I said, I mean, this has been a look at IE 4.01. Now, if anyone wants me to do IE 4 Commemorative Edition, see how it differs or anything, then, yeah, I would be more than happy to do that. Please post in the comments. But apart from that, thank you for watching this video, and please join me for my next one. Cheery bye. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. You could also subscribe to the channel and hit the wee bell icon to be notified when I have published a new video. But until then, please feel free to check out some of my previous videos.